Discovering Women video TV, an interview with the amazing Miryam. I feel so privileged to be here today and conducting this interview. And I think that what I really want to be able to do today is to really show our audience who you really are, why you are who you are today, where you came from. And so I sit back and I hope that you really enjoy this conversation with Miryam. So Miryam.
It was very nice to see you again.
It's very nice to see you too. So I have my little questions here in front of me, and I don't know how much of it I'm going to actually look at, but I'd just like to take you back to the beginnings of where Miryam came from. And I think most people probably understand that you came from Mexico, but let's go back to those days. I'd like to kind of paint a picture of who you are today based on who you were as a child, and some of the things that may have happened in your life that really helped to build you into the strong and amazing woman that you are today. So let's go back to when you were little, and you had a very amazing role model in your life, in your mom. So could you tell us a little bit about that relationship with your mom and how she instilled in you this sense of purpose, this sense of strength and courage?
Well, my parents, they got divorced when I was, separated when I was 4. And my dad was pretty much involved with, like, he sees me every weekend and stuff. And he did a lot of things to my mom, but my mom, for me, he kind of forgave him, right? And she always said to me, doesn't matter what he did to me, he's your father, and then you should have a relationship with him and respect him and stuff. And well, she pretty much raised me on her own, right? And have our 4 brothers, but they're way older than me, so pretty much I was like the baby and the only child, pretty much. But my mom, it was a kind that she had to do everything. Like, if she needs to paint, she needs to put the wallpaper, she needs to fix a table, if she needs to take the car to the mechanic, it wasn't for her nothing that they can just stop her. And I grew up that way. Even I remember playing with my babies, and for some strange reason, I never had a husband on the picture when I was playing, right? It was only my babies.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess when you see your mom, I guess, it's, I didn't feel that I need a male role model. I mean, I have 4 brothers, and my mom said that I used to call them dad because they were like way older than me. Actually, my second brother is like my dad. I mean, still today we get along very good. And my mom, since I was little, she always said to me that whatever I want to be or whatever I want to do, it's just like to just think about, picture in my mind like it was there, like I was just doing it, and it will happen.
And you do that so well. Oh my gosh. So that was something that she instilled in you, but you didn't just listen to her, pay attention to her. You actually adopted that way of doing things, didn't you?
Yeah, because I saw even with her, she had to sacrifice being a stay-at-home mom. She was doing sales and stuff, so we're not poor, but we're not like millionaire, right? So we're like middle class. And I remember her telling me one time that what I prefer for her to don't get a steady job, but having dinner with me every day, or me having whatever I want, and I prefer to have my mom having dinner with me.
Right.
But I remember even at some times when dinner, when the money was tight, she always say, "No, I know it's gonna be fine." And something happened, and then the sales come, and then everything was fine. So her faith, I just see it, right? I see it happening. And I remember when I was 6. Yeah, I was actually 6. I made my own book.
Oh my goodness!
I still have it. It was the Teddy and his friends in search of a star, and it's about friendship. And I was gonna publish because I said to my mom that one day I want to have a magazine. write a book. Right? My dream was
See what I mean? See what I mean? I see what I mean. It's just amazing how you just have this belief that you just put it out there and it just happens. It just comes to be. That's God listening.
Yeah, and like the same, I said I want to have a boy and a girl. I've never said twins.
You were specific.
Yeah. But I was sure my first baby would be a boy. I was completely sure. And you know, like I said, I was gonna get married to a tall, handsome guy. I miss little details, but you know, like
Yeah,
I did.
specific.
Yes, you have to be more details when you place the order.
Exactly. Watch what you
Yeah.
wish for.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
might get it, right? That's amazing. So, tell me a little bit about how you, you got to go to college and what, again, it sort of was like when you were really little. I didn't know that you had a little book that you
I do.
wrote, but I did know that you had this vision of yourself having a magazine for a very long time, and then you went to college. So, can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Well, I went to
in college?
university.
Okay, university.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm pretty much the only one that had a university degree, and well, I want to be on the media, on in the magazine and all that stuff. But then, of course, my brothers, they were saying, oh, that it's not too many jobs and stuff. They say you should go to administration. So then I hate math. So then I went to the year that you do before. I don't know, in Mexico it's pretty much different than here, but you could do a year like based on whatever you want to choose as a career. And I was failing the main class, right? They're like, oh, this is not good for me. I remember my mom telling me, don't listen to nobody.
Oh,
do whatever you want.
Follow your bliss,
I'm
right?
like, they're not gonna do the job for you. Like, that's your life. I mean, you have to love what you're doing. You cannot just work in something that's gonna make you miserable. And you're not even good at it anyway. I was like, yeah, hey, and it's funny because when she told me that, I started passing my classes. Yeah, and math, And then when I decided, then I went to have the career of media. And I love it. Then I had a chance to learn photography and to do radio and even movies, like short films and editing of movies, and of course the magazines and all the publishing.
So you got to see a broad breadth of different things, and you sort of, I don't know, I think you got really good at all of them. But anyway, you sort of picked the things that you really, really were passionate about, like photography and the graphic artist stuff and the magazine. Oh my gosh, you're just so good at everything.
It's just so visual.
That's right, and it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So then, so you went to university and you got your degree. Now, I'm not quite sure when this happened in your life, but there was something else that happened in your life that wasn't a very pleasant thing that I'd like you to tell the audience about.
When I was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
And the strength that you took from that.
When I finished university, I get into a graphic design agency, and I was doing the articles and stuff, and then, searching, doing research and stuff it was a medical magazine. And I kind of how was the designing department, and that's when I started getting to learn more. I skipped my lunches and I stayed with other guys to teach me about the designing.
Nice.
So then how I learned, I'm like, oh, this guy's making so much money on his business, why I'm not doing my own business? So I decided to start my own business. And
just started her own business, like just, oh well.
and it was pretty good. Like I started having like big business clients, like even Sony Music and like big companies and big factories and stuff. And I had another person, my friend Marco, that he was doing the websites and stuff. And then I have another guy who was doing printing, and we just doing business all together. So when my brother was, I think he was visiting from, I forgot where he was living. And then I told him, will you go with me to downtown? I need to do to deliver some CDs for a client, but because of traffic, we didn't want to take the car, so we decided to just take a taxi, right? So then we took a taxi. We went to pick up to drop off the magazine. We got the magazines, the CD, and I got paid and stuff, and then we had dinner. And when we were getting out, it was like about I think 7 o'clock at night or something.
Was it dark?
Yeah, it was dark. I said, well, let's take a taxi, and this little Volkswagen, like Beatles. My brother said, no, let's go on the bus. And I'm not going on the bus. Like, no. Like, the buses there is not like nicer like here, right? So I'm like, oh, I don't want to go on a bus. And I say safer on a taxi. So my brother's like, I'm telling you. I'm like, oh, no. But Miryam's stubborn. Because he hears these sometimes like these voices that tell him to don't do something.
My goodness.
So anyway, I stopped the taxi. I even choose the taxi pretty much. And so then we went inside the taxi, and the first stoplight was not even like 2 minutes. I remember just looking at the window, and suddenly they opened the door, pushed my brother because they only have the driver's seat. The other seat is missing, and they only have the bench right in the back. So they pushed my brother under the dashboard, and this guy is pointing him with a gun. And I'm the kind that when something's happening, like I don't panic. It's like almost like my adrenaline takes over, so I'm calm, and I don't panic. I panic after, but at the beginning. So
keep your head about you.
So my brother was of course really worried about me because his little sister, right? So he was talking, and the guy was kind of getting upset. So I was just talking to the guy. I was saying, wow, you have to be careful with that gun. I don't want you to just, when I bump, you pass and you shoot him. And he's telling me, oh, it has a safety, and he's showing me the gun, right?
Oh my gosh.
But I'm not panicking. I'm just concerned about my brother, that he has a gun like on his behind, right? And my brother is talking because he wants to distract him. So anyway, we stopped in a lot of banks, and they were trying to get money from our credit cards and stuff. They took my watch and necklace. You want to take my earrings? And I said, oh, those are cheap ones. They were not cheap ones, but I said, they're cheap. But I'm even having this conversation with him. So everything, we went like a few hours, and I was like steady until I kind of look at a police car, and then I kind of look to make face because we stopped on a red light. And the guy said, they're in combination with the taxi driver, with this guy, of course. He said, oh, don't even bother, we just have connections with the police anyway. And I'm like, okay, great.
And this is Mexico, so you
Mexico
can
City.
believe that.
Yeah. So when he started, he put his arm, and he kind of get touchy, and then that's when I started getting a little panicky when he said, oh, they will give us good money for her. Then that's when I started getting nervous. And then I just started praying. That's all I did. Like, I just started praying and just saying, God, I prefer to be killed than, being sexually abused or something. So, thank God, then suddenly they stopped and they let us go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so...
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
It was about
surely
4
there
hours.
are, I bet that of all you people that are watching this right now, none of you can say that you've had an experience like this. Like, this is what this could have done was to make you very fearful, stop you in your tracks, change your direction in life. It could have done so many detrimental things to you, but that did not happen with you. I really admire you because you have such strength and courage. And so can you talk a little bit about what happened after that experience? I know that there was a period of time that you were feeling a little bit fearful, but then what happened next?
Well, what happened is, I wasn't like, I really didn't want to go out or anything. Like, I was just like,
Understandably.
working. And my mom, she said, you can live like that.
That's not a life.
You can't. You have to do something about it. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm scared. Like, I remember even going on the street and somebody put their hand on their pocket, like I just feel like, oh, for sure he has a gun. Like, it just, like, you become paranoid, right? Like, you cannot live like that.
Well, it's a
crazy.
trauma. You experienced a trauma.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it is pretty hard. So she had a friend that they went to Montreal. Her daughter went to Montreal, and they were planning to go to Montreal, everybody, and just move there to apply, from the Canadian Embassy, and just apply to just move to Montreal. And my mom, one time, 2 o'clock in the morning, she went to wake me up, and I'm like, Miryam. I'm like, oh, what? I think you need to go to Canada. I'm like, what are you talking about?
In the middle of the night.
I'm like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're talking like, no, just like God told me that you have to go. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like let's talk in the morning, okay? So anyway, like the next morning, we just talk, and he said, why you don't go and talk to my friend's daughter, and we'll see what you think. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So first, I went to, I said, okay, I talked to them, but I'm not sure what I want to do, so let me just try. And my brother was living in Cancun. After that, he moved. He moved to live in Cancun. Like of course, he didn't want to live in Mexico anymore. Right. So I spent like a month on his house. Of course, I wasn't gonna live there. Like he's not like family oriented. Like you wanna have family and stuff. Like it's too much party.
You are gonna find your tall, dark, and handsome person to have 2 children with there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. It's like it's almost like you have this insight into, you're going along on a path, and you're like, no, that's not the path I need to be going on. You've got this connection that's guiding you. Yeah. So you were sort of, your mom came in and said, your mom also you have a lot of that from your mom.
Yeah.
She has this kind of vertical connection where she's listening to spirit or whatever you want to call it that's telling her, she's telling you need to go to Canada. You're saying, Cancun now, Canada maybe. So what happened then? And I'd love for you to speak to how you're open to the people that come into your life to give you guidance, like that they give you information that helps you to change your direction.
Yeah, to listen.
To listen. You're such a good listener that way.
Yeah.
You're always listening.
I'm pretty good on like observing, and then I learn from other people's mistakes. That's right. I do that a lot.
And so well, like really so well. And that's what I think what I'm trying to get at is this is what kind of has propelled you to be where you are today so quickly. So tell us about your trip to Canada. You decided that you were going to come to Canada, and you were on one road, and I'd like you to tell the audience a little bit about that. You'll be interested to hear this.
So when I came back, I talked to this girl, and then she said, oh, you were like 4 friends, and then we're going to Montreal. And then I told my friend, and then one of my friends said, oh yeah, I'm in. For sure I'm going to. Because she was robbed with another friend, actually, like a week after that happened to me, and then they invite me over. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not going, you better just don't go. And then, it happened to them. So, I don't know how I met this guy. I think I met him online, and he's from Vancouver. So we went out, and then, we have a couple of chats and stuff, and then he said to me, why you're going to Montreal? Like, did you speak French? And I'm like, no. I'm like, well, you should don't go to Montreal, you should go to Toronto. And I said, but everybody's going to Montreal. And I'm like, well, but you should don't go to Montreal if you don't speak French. And I'm like, well, I guess I had to review then my choices. So, I did